AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Great to be back. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump day.
Hump day for y'all.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Monday for me.
Hump day.
Of a 3-day work week.
It's hump day.
How you like them apples?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Good to be back.
Hump day.
SEC spring meetings going down.
It's hump day.
Kiffin taking shots from everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
What else is new?
Hump day.
Chris Stanfield
It's hump day.
in studio.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Cooper Moore
Hump day.
in studio.
It's hump day.
Gavin Guidry
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
in studio.
Hump day.
Derek Curiel
It's hump day.
in studio.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All courtesy of the G team.
Hump day.
Jeff Duncan's writing a book.
It's hump day.
He'll be here later too.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All right, we got a lot to do. Let's get cranked up here on a busy day. Had a great time in Arizona, but great to be back here. So let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
SEC spring meetings going down out in Florida, and as is customary, all the football coaches get their turn at the podium and they take questions, and it's sort of a precursor, I suppose, to SEC Media Days, which will happen in July. One of the themes of Lane Kiffin's media availability was it's interesting because you and I'm assuming you listening, watching this show, care about LSU. Now I know a lot of y'all are Ole Miss fans. You found this show back in December, January, and you've stayed. I'm glad you're here, so thank you for being here. But primarily, listening, watching, you love LSU. So the conversations that we are having now, 6 months after Lane Kiffin was hired, are no longer about how he left Ole Miss, why he left Ole Miss, why he picked LSU over Florida, any of that stuff. But for the rest of the conference's assembled media who hasn't spoken to Lane Kiffin since then, these are the things they care about. Like, you and I are talking about, is it Devin Harper or Bo Bordelon at left guard? Which receivers are going to emerge? What about Dylan Jones, the great spring? Can he translate that into the fall? Like, nobody in Columbia, South Carolina today even knows who Dylan Jones is. Doesn't matter. You understand my point? So every bit of assembled media that's going to ask Kiffin questions, ask from a different perspective and point of view. And a lot of it really kind of became accusatory and put Lane Kiffin on the defensive. I'll get to that, but let me start with what I think is more newsworthy to this audience, and it's two things primarily. It's Ed Orgeron and Sam Leavitt. This is the first comments that Lane Kiffin made since they formally hired Ed Orgeron. This is what Kiffin said.
It's a unique situation because having known him from before and working with him, and then he was already living there. And so it's something we had talked about a little bit throughout it, and it just seemed like the perfect time to bring him back. And, we talked for a number of days about it and to figure out exactly what it was. And I feel awesome about it because, I feel the comfort of having him on the staff. we were saying 17 years ago, we were here as the Tennessee coach, and, knowing that when he's on your staff, certain things are taken care of. He's not in that same role he used to be, but to bring him back to LSU and, with the expanded number of people to recruit that can go on the road, that's a tremendous value anywhere, let alone in the state of Louisiana. So I'm excited about it.
Okay, where he ended that bite is probably the most significant, acknowledging, hey, look, the expanded recruiting rules, remember, it used to be only the 10 full-time on-field staffers could recruit off campus. That has been expanded to 16 now. So you bring in Ed Orgeron and you say, go get him, baby. So Ed Orgeron, who during his time as LSU's head coach, did two really significant things in recruiting the state. This is going back a little bit, but I'll try to make this succinct. When Frank Wilson, who was on Les Miles' staff, left to become the head coach at UTSA, you always have to have a New Orleans presence on staff. You have to have someone with New Orleans connectivity. So Les hired Jabbar Jalouk, who was a New Orleans area high school coach before moving into college. After 1 year, Jabbar was fired. That did not sit well with a lot of the New Orleans area coaches, and there was a little bit of a grudge there. Ed hired Mickey Joseph, New Orleans area legend, and did a lot of work to mend those fences, and I think that was very significant for recruiting New Orleans. That's one. Two, the college coaches in state, when LSU would have their prospect camps, Ed invited all of the coaches from every college in the state to come coach and be counselors at the LSU prospect camp. That's significant because not every kid that comes to that camp is going to get an LSU offer. But maybe that kid's good enough to play at Tech or ULM or ULL or Tulane or McNeese or Northwestern State or Southern or Grambling or Nichols. I'm not trying to leave anybody out. I think I got them all. But anyway, the point is, that was very good relationally. And when you think about this era, you have players sometimes that will start at those schools and will end up transferring to LSU. Mekhi Garner, the late Kyron Lacey, were guys that started at Louisiana colleges and then transferred to LSU. So those relationships are very valuable, especially with a new staff. So yes, I think the recruiting piece of that with Ed Orgeron is very significant, as Kiffin said. He also said he's in a different role, meaning on the field, right, than what he was whenever he was coaching with Kiffin at Tennessee or at Southern Cal. I do think, though, and we talked about this when Ed was hired, I think the long-term value of this hire may exceed what it is today. Because, remember, Lane Kiffin is from the Nick Saban tree in a respect. And one of the things Nick did very well at the end of his career was sort of hoard assistants as analysts. Remember, when Lane Kiffin went sort of rogue before the national championship game and took the FAU job, and Nick was like, just go. Remember who called plays in the championship? Well, it was Steve Sarkisian, who was on staff as an analyst. Yes, that's Steve Sarkisian, who's now the head coach at Texas, who was just hanging out as an analyst on Alabama's staff. Well, in this situation, what if in a year, 2 years, whatever, you're looking for a new defensive line coach? Well, you got Ed Orgeron already on staff. Boom, plug and play, easy. So for those, in that respect, it makes a lot of sense. Lane also acknowledged, we've talked about this for a while. My only question really is the timing. Lane said it was the right time. I don't know why it wouldn't have made sense before spring, so we could have helped you coach during spring. But nonetheless, this is the time that they pushed it through. I know everyone's made a big deal of the $100,000. My understanding is the $100K is what LSU is going to pay out of its athletic department budget. But like with a lot of salaries, sometimes coaches are supplemented from like TAF or one of those types of organizations or the collective or something along those lines. So Ed's salary that he's going to make from LSU's athletic budget is $100K. My understanding is he's going to make more than $100,000. He's not coming here for $100,000. He's going to make more than $100,000. But it makes sense in a lot of ways. That was one. Two was when Lane was asked about Sam Leavitt. Now, this is a very quick interaction, but I think it does sort of speak volumes as far as the progress that Leavitt's made.
Where's Sam in his recovery?
Yeah, he's doing really well. I think he ran 21 the other day. So he's progressing really well.
21, meaning 21 miles an hour on the GPS that all the guys wear. That's fantastic. Remember, we're talking about a Lisfranc injury. That's your foot. And Sam Leavitt, we saw at spring, after he had the pins removed, just wearing sneakers and a helmet out at practice, not doing anything. And now you fast forward a month, and he's running 21 miles an hour. that certainly speaks to sign of great progress and recovery. I've said it. Whether you agree or disagree is fine. We'll all, make our opinions known before the season starts. I think whatever LSU is going to be, whatever the ceiling is, it has to involve Sam Leavitt playing at his absolute max like he did a couple of years ago at Arizona State. If Leavitt is injured, limited, not there, and you have to rely on Longstreet or Clark, then I think it's going to be a very disappointing season for LSU. So you need Sam Leavitt to be healthy. Everything that they've said has been accurate as far as timeline. They knew he was going to miss a lot of spring, but they expect him to be ready for fall camp. And Kiffin's saying here that Leavitt's going to go through the full offseason program, the official offseason program, which begins but the middle of June. They haven't announced the date yet, but middle of June typically is when that official offseason program begins. And it sure sounds like Sam Leavitt is going to be good to go, which is awesome news for LSU. So there was a lot of other stuff mixed in here from Lane Kiffin's availability, some sort of attempts at gotcha moments. And we'll get to all that here as the show persists. But I wanted to start with those two newsworthy items from Lane Kiffin's media availability. Show Up in Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, official beer of AFR and the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU and the official beer of the New Orleans Saints. So whether you're watching the black and gold, the purple and gold, or just enjoying a beautiful Louisiana summer day, make sure you drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, our great friends at Mockler Beverage. Man, supporters of our communities in Louisiana for parts of 4 decades. Awesome people, of course, recently took over Southwest Bev in Southwest Louisiana and the Lake Charles area. Great supporters of McNeese. We'll be doing AFR next Thursday in Lake Charles at Walk-Ons in conjunction with our friends at Mockler down in Southwest Louisiana. So can't wait to get there. We always appreciate them. We encourage you to drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. Okay, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. Come back. As I mentioned, had a chance earlier today, to visit with Chris Stanfield and Cooper Moore together, and then Gavin Guidry and Derek Curiel together. We're going to play those 2 interviews for you here throughout the show. When we come back, you'll hear my conversation with Chris Stanfield, Cooper Moore, where both talk about some injury situations from this year, more detailed the injury that cost him the remainder of his season. And then later, about 1 hour from right now, you'll hear our conversation with Gavin Guidry and Derek Curiel, both of whom obviously have decisions to make about their futures, all courtesy of our friends at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. We appreciate the G team for making it happen with those guys coming in studio. So you'll hear from Chris Stanfield and Cooper Moore when we come back on AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about Glow Resources, GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. It does not matter where you live, where you work, where you do business. If you need to hire, you need Glow Resources, because Glow Resources will help you find permanent solutions to get the job done the most efficient and effective that you could possibly imagine. Check them out online at glowresources.com, GLO, glowresources.com. Remember, at Glow Resources, they have a 96% success rate, meaning they find an employee for your business. 96% of the time, it works. In those very rare instances where it doesn't, they will give you a prorated refund or find a replacement employee at no cost to you. It's Glow Resources. You have nothing to lose and efficiency to gain. So check them out online. Begin that process today at GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. Complete employer solutions.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Very pleased to be joined by a couple of Tigers, members of the G team, Chris Stanfield, Cooper Moore, joining us in studio on behalf of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Gents, what's going on?
Nothing much.
Yeah, not a lot. Thank you for having us.
It's our pleasure. A little different week, regional week, and the Tigers aren't participating, man. Chris, you were on the team last year. You go all the way, and then obviously not participating this season. Man, give me a thought just on the oddity of this, how this feels right now.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. You know, you come to LSU to play in the postseason. We know the history, the pedigree, and, you know, I have no doubt, as Coach has been saying, that they'll be back on top. You know, this year was tough for many different reasons for different guys, but, you know, it's a part of life, and I feel like everyone's kind of grown through it, and will be better in the future.
How do you feel physically right now? Because, dude, you got beat up this year.
Yeah, I'm definitely, the last week's been good to kind of get back under my feet under me, but it's still kind of battling all of that.
The second game of the season hurt your hand, right? Did that linger throughout the year?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I broke my hand.
Yeah, I think we kind of noticed that, right? I mean, that when it was a few weeks out, was there a point where you felt normal again during the year?
I'd probably say around like Texas A&M series, I was starting to feel a little better, like with the hand.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And it's interesting because, Cooper, we got you in here, and man, you got a clipped wing over here in your arm in a sling. This is kind of symbolic of what a lot of the struggles were. Let me just ask, how are you feeling? We saw that you posted the photo of surgery.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling right now in recovery?
I feel great. I really thought it was going to be a lot more painful and a lot more recovery process, but pain's been very minimal, and I can move it around and stuff, so we're headed on the right track.
It was Oklahoma. It was the second SEC week, and you had lifted from the start. We didn't see you again the rest of the year. So what happened?
Yeah, kind of just a freak deal. I was in the weight room after my third start, and I got hit right in between my elbow and forearm, and it kind of was a bone bruise. And it felt fine when I would throw, and then after every start, it just kind of lingered and lingered and lingered, and the recovery time to get back to 100% just wasn't the same. And I knew something was going on, but I wasn't going to miss a start. I was going to give as much as I could, and it turns out it was an elbow fracture in my olecranon, which is right in my elbow. And they said it could have been up there. Excuse me. They said it could have been there for up to 2 to 3 years. So I could have been pitching through it for a long time. And if that's the case, I'm really excited to get back.
Yeah. Wait, so you got hit in the weight room?
Yeah.
Somebody threw a dumbbell at you? What do you mean you got hit in the weight room?
I was doing landmine split jerk, which is like an overhead press.
Yeah.
It was for speed. I had just thrown a bullpen, and the other guys had already been in there working out and sweating all over everything. And the bar was pretty slick, and I didn't think anything to grab chalk. So I went, first rip, it flew out of my hand. Right arm, I went like this, hit me right there. Yeah.
Right, next time, use your non-throwing arm, right?
I'll try.
If you throw a bar again in the air, like use the other hand, other arm.
Yeah.
But look, man, but obviously it was disappointing with the injury, but it was your first go-round coming in from Kansas. Both of you were transfers, so you have that in common. Give me a sense of what it was like playing at LSU, coming from Kansas, based on what your impressions were when you transferred and what reality was.
Yeah, I mean, it was everything I thought it was going to be. We obviously didn't have the year we wanted, but the memories and the growing and the development, everything was awesome. I mean, I got better coming here. I know Stan probably got better coming here, and that's the thing you got to take on years like this is you got to take the small wins and know that you got better.
And plan is to come back next year, right? Jay said that's the plan for you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what then for you is the off season like, trying to ramp up to next year?
Yeah, I talked with Jay about it, and he said we're going to take it super, super slow, and I'm not going to throw in the fall like in the inter squads or any of that. And he said I'm not going to take a break over Christmas break. Like, that's the time where I'm going to really build up, and I'm going to build up for longer this year so that out of the gates I can go up to 5 to 6 innings.
Nice. Cooper Moore, Chris Stanfield are in studio with us here on behalf of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Members of the G team, of course, we've been great partners with Gordon for a lot of years, man. We're so grateful for everything he does. And Chris, it's actually a great synergy with you. I mean, last year, we know you won the Tony Gwynn Community Service Trophy. And it's been such a part of your time, your 2 years in Baton Rouge. I know you've talked about it a bunch, but why is that so important for you to give back the ways that you have?
Yeah, since I was young, my parents have been still giving back in me. And kind of when I was younger, I was just walking around. It was just a unique deal, and I saw just some homeless people that weren't as fortunate, and it kind of just stuck with me at a young age. And so once I got the platform to be able to give back, that's really been in my heart, and it's just special, to make people's day and make their lives better, honestly.
Yeah, I've seen you out at, my son plays Miracle League, and you've volunteered a lot of your time out there and other initiatives around town. Is it something that when you leave, because obviously you're a senior, you're going on to the next phase in professional ball. Do you think Baton Rouge, you'll continue to have a presence here and give back in Baton Rouge?
No doubt. LSU's family, and Baton Rouge will be my second home. I
mean, obviously from Florida, we know you started your career at Auburn, decided to put on the right Tiger colors and come wear the purple and gold. Are you going to pull for Auburn in the postseason this year?
Of course. No hard feelings, but yeah.
So from now, obviously the draft is in July. So here we are at the end of May. So what about 6 weeks or so to the draft? What's next for you between now and the draft?
So I'm going to go to the draft league up in the Northeast region. I'm playing for the Williamsport Crosscutters in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. So that'll be awesome. Just, an opportunity to go out there for a month and showcase my skill set.
Do you think – so that's really interesting because you mentioned, like, being injured, the broken hand. And then what – because you had the broken hand, what else did you have? There was something.
I pulled my hamstring.
Yeah, hamstring.
At Mississippi State.
Dude, I mean, you were like held together with bubble gum and duct tape this year. Like, God bless, when out there trying to make it happen, which is awesome that you're out there making it happen. But so do you feel like this is a real opportunity for you being healthy to go play games for Scout Show? Okay, this is what it looks like when I'm healthy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So are you going to play it do y'all play at the Little League field in Williamsport?
Nah,
that'd be pretty easy to homer though, right? Yeah, like 2:30 down the line.
Man,
That'd be sick.
Cooper's like, I'll pick up a bat again. I'll start swinging the bat again if that's what we get to. So, your decision to come back this year for your senior year is interesting because I think when you left Auburn and came, did you think you would be here 2 years, or were you thinking you'd be going pro after one?
Yeah, I thought it would just be 1 year, but it was a really unique deal. And, after last year, I really thought I had a great year, and, we won it all. So, but it's all about timing, and I'm thankful, I came back. I ended up graduating, so that was a huge milestone that I could complete. Thank you. Yeah. And, I believe, with this opportunity going forward, it'll all work out in time. I grew a lot this year, and that was really important, so I'm thankful for it.
This is maybe for both of you, both as veteran guys now. Like the world is college baseball has changed so much because in a different era, Chris, a guy like you the season you just talked about, you don't come back, but because of things like Gordon and maybe NIL rev share, whatever, there are opportunities for guys where maybe you got to make a little bit of a decision, to maybe continue a career. Because you obviously are both in college during this transformative period. Do you think about that? About how different decisions are? Cooper, do you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. I kind of had to make a decision last year because I was a draft-eligible sophomore and was getting a lot of looks in the draft. And when Jay called, I really was like, I kind of want to be in college another year. And it turned out I've been blessed financially, and it's been awesome.
So, and it's really interesting because if you thought you might go as a draft-eligible sophomore, you certainly thought after a year in Baton Rouge you'd be gone, and now you're coming back for a fourth year. So you're kind of in the same situation that Chris was a year ago. Have y'all talked about that?
A little, yes, sir.
Yeah, a little bit. So we play the game a lot, so we talk a
lot. So what do you think are the reasons, as you look ahead to next year, are the reasons that you're really motivated to come back?
Oh man, just the chemistry on the team, the chemistry that was built this year was awesome. I love everyone on the team. They're my brothers now. And I think just another year in Baton Rouge to develop under coaches like Yeski and Jay is exactly what I need. And I'm ready to get back out there and be 100%.
Who are some of the guys, the young guys, maybe we didn't see a ton this year, at Mound Time, that you got to see in inter squads and bullpens that you're like, oh man, he's going to be really good? Who names we need to know?
We got some guys. I mean, Marcos Paz, obviously, he pitched quite a bit this year, but he's got monster stuff. Reagan Rickens got amazing fastball command for a freshman. It's really impressive to see that kid throw the ball where he wants.
What about in the outfield? We got to see William Patrick at the end of the year. Who else? Because it's probably going to be a little bit of a makeover in that outfield this year.
Yeah, I think definitely William Mason. He plays some out there, and we saw him all year. He was great, and he's only going to get better. And it'll be interesting to see how the team forms though, and guys like Omar Cade, I know they'll lead the offense and do their thing, and it'll be fun to watch. I know there'll be no doubt that they're gonna have a great offensive and team overall next year.
Turns out
definitely offense.
Yeah. Turns out there's usually some pretty good baseball players at LSU. It kind of works out that way. All right, y'all got a Jay Johnson story before we go? Give me something that you can give me.
Okay, yeah. So Tennessee this year, I don't know if y'all remember, he got thrown out.
I do remember that.
We needed that energy for sure.
That was Easter, yeah, man.
And I remember he was like, I don't know where they put him, but he was like, we're going to have to pay some damages for that back room when he ran out, and it was so lit. We ended up winning that game, and that was a great moment.
So good, man. You got anything that stands out from your first year of Baton Rouge?
not really a story, but every time I would see him when I was hurt in the dugout or just walking around the clubhouse, he'd always be like, we're going to be back on top. We're going to be back on top. So,
yeah.
And I got a full confidence in him as a coach. So
I don't think there's any doubt, man. Like, nobody, yeah.
He works so hard. Like, he's always at the field.
He's maniacal.
Yeah,
I'd say, like, I've been here, I've covered this program a long time, and he's the closest thing to early Nick Saban as I've seen here. It's the way he works is incredible.
Yeah.
Guys, you've obviously been great partners with Gordon as well. What's it meant to be able to partner with Gordon McKernan?
It's meant the world. You know, when I first came here, I didn't really know about Gordon, and then, you know, you drive around and you see his billboards everywhere, and it's been really a great pleasure to meet him this year and, you know, talk to him about Miracle League, talk to him about his visions and, you know, his businesses, and he's an amazing guy, so I'm very thankful for him.
It's one of the things to talk about, you know, like we'll promote Gordon's like laptop giveaway during graduation and the bicycle giveaway during Christmas, but there's so many different ways that Gordon gives back with all the philanthropy. The G team's part of it. You mentioned, like, you know, my son plays Miracle League and there's a Gordon logo out on the outfield fence. It's just everywhere you go in town. He loves to give back. I'm sure you probably noticed that.
I got a story about that. I was driving back from Oklahoma this past week, and it felt like I wasn't even in Louisiana yet, and I just saw Gordon signs everywhere. Like every 20 miles. I swear there was one.
He is omnipresent. I'll tell you that much, man. And Gordon's been a great partner of ours. Of course, as we always say, if you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon, get it done. You can always go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Cooper Moore and Chris Stanfield, gents, it's a pleasure. Congrats on the season, and best of luck with what's ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was our conversation with Cooper Moore and Chris Stanfield. Also got to sit down with Gavin Guidry and Derek Curry. All that's coming up in about 45 minutes. We're brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing. Hey, great news today. If you missed it, literal news. Governor Jeff Landry signed a bill today that expands the grant dollars for the fortified roofing program. We've told you about fortified roofing for a while now, and at Parrish Construction and Roofing, we're actually the very first certified Louisiana-based fortified roofing company. So we're very pleased to have done more than 50 fortified roofs in our state, and hopefully 50,000 more as this expands. If you're in an area, certainly it's in the path of hurricanes and storms, a fortified roof can be incredibly valuable. It can help lower your insurance premiums, and our crews are experts at installing fortified roofs. Learn more about the $10,000 grants that you can put toward a fortified roof. It's a lottery system from the state. The lottery, to enter in the lottery begins next week on June the 1st. That window to apply will be open June 1st through June 5th. And again, we would love it if, you know, when you go to apply and you get to choose your roofing company, you would choose Parrish Construction and Roofing. Or look, if you'd like to learn more about fortified roofs, just go to our website. Go to parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. If you scroll down the homepage, you'll see the fortified roofing link right there. You can learn all you want about a fortified roof. Tons of rain, got roof issues. Let us help you out. Parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for hanging out. We'll go around the SEC when we come back. By the way, part of the SEC spring meetings is that the league has announced further TV windows for the early part of the football season. So we now know kickoff times and networks for the first 3 LSU football games this season. We'll get to that and some other notables as we continue. Stay with us here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Rain, go away. I'm ready to have a pool day. Well, whenever the rain subsides and it's time to get out there and enjoy the pool weather, make sure Duplessis Pools is who you use to build that beautiful custom pool, making your backyard into an outdoor oasis. It's DuplessisPools.com, DuplessisPools.com, DuplessisPools.com. That's the website. Look, there are so many pool companies, and you hear them, you see them all over the place. Duplessis, their validation comes from a lot of different ways. Of course, you could ask anyone who's worked with Derek and the Duplessis team. You can go see pictures of their beautiful work at their Instagram or at their website. But really the differentiator is they built a pool that lasts. They offer a 10-year workmanship warranty when the industry standard is 1 year. It's DuplessisPools.com. Begin that process today to your own outdoor oasis. DuplessisPools.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All right, glad you're rolling along with us here. Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I was having lunch today with a buddy who said, you take peptides? I was like, yeah, I do. I get them from Goodwood. BPC 157, NAD+, Sermorelin. It's a growth hormone peptide I take at night before I go to bed. It helps encourage your body's natural production of growth hormone when you sleep. Yeah, it's amazing. Feel great. Goodwood can help you do it. Yeah, like I say all the time, the name, the logo, I get it. It's funny. People laugh. It's meant to be attention-getting, and it's succeeded. But don't get caught up with that. Yes, they do ED treatments. They do so much more. Hormone replacement therapy, peptide therapy. You want to look and feel your best. They can help you. Lowest prices, never any contracts. Yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. So part of the spring meetings there in Florida, the league has announced kickoff times and networks for the first 3 weeks of football play. So we already knew that LSU and Clemson was going to be a primetime kickoff, 6:30 ABC in Tiger Stadium. Game day is going to be there, all that. We also knew week 3, September the 19th, when LSU goes to Ole Miss, that's also going to be 6:30 Central on ABC, and College Game Day will likely be there as well. Reese Davis was a guest on Off the Bench with Hester a couple of weeks ago, and obviously it was non-committal, but it would stand to reason that's very likely going to happen. So the other one we now know is week 2. LSU at home against Louisiana Tech is also going to be a night game. That's going to be a 6:30 kick, but it's going to be on SEC Network Plus. So LSU Louisiana Tech is going to be a stream-only game with the Tigers and the Bulldogs, with Tech coming back this year. So Coach Sonny Cumbie bringing his team back. We actually had Coach Cumbie on the show, I don't know, about a month ago or so, talked about that, and the opportunity to play in Tiger Stadium and his relationship with a lot of the coaches, Blake Baker notably. So it'd be a really good opportunity for another Louisiana school to come to Tiger Stadium. They'll get a payday. I mean, if we talk about it often, if you're gonna play those games, better to play the in-state schools, keep the money in state. So it's a really good opportunity for Tech there. But week 2, again, it'll be a night kickoff in Tiger Stadium, but but it will be stream only. So when you look at the LSU schedule, we kind of start to think about, all right, what games might be day games. That's kind of what we always try to look and sort of project, right? What might end up being a day game? Well, that conversation has changed dramatically since you no longer have the CBS 2:30 window. Because remember, CBS used to get first choice. And so if you were the premier game and CBS wanted you at 2:30, well, you're playing at 2:30. With ESPN having all of the SEC contracts now, you don't have to play a 2:30 kick. If they want you in primetime, they'll put you in primetime on ABC, ESPN, SEC Network, whatever it may be. So you start to look ahead. You got A&M the week after Ole Miss. You would hope that'd be a night game in Tiger Stadium. You're at Kentucky. You're home against Mississippi State, which I can't imagine that's going to be a highly sought-after game. That could very well be like an SEC Network evening kick. You're at Auburn. Bama and Texas. We're certainly assuming those are going to be night games. Might very well be back-to-back weeks, night on ABC. And then you're at Tennessee, at Arkansas. All that to say, I think there's a really good chance that LSU avoids a day game at home this year. The ones that could potentially fall into that mix would be Texas A&M and Mississippi State. So we'll see if either of those ends up being a kick under the sun, or if they both end up as night game kickoffs. If they do, then likely LSU plays its entire home schedule at night, which would be awesome. But we know now definitively the first 3, Clemson, Tech, and Ole Miss, will all be night games with 6:30 kicks. All right, we'll go around the SEC here in just a quick second. Got to remind you, success, it takes a team, and not just on the field. At FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, that team is more than 20,000 strong, delivering care across Louisiana and Mississippi as one connected, mission-driven health system, as a $5 billion health system with nationally recognized quality and not 1 but 2 exceptional workplace awards from Gallup. FMOL Health has built something people trust and continues to grow to meet the needs of the communities they serve. And when LSU needed a partner to care for its student-athletes, they chose Our Lady of the Lake as their championship health partner. That tells you everything you need to know. Because it's bigger than sports. It's about having a health system that you can count on. FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake, and LSU. Together, we roar. Learn more at olrmc.com/LSU, olrmc.com/LSU. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Texas Longhorns.
Athletic Director Chris Del Conte is non-committal about the future series in football with Notre Dame. Quote, they're tentatively on the schedule right now. When pressed, he said, quote, they're tentatively on the schedule right now. Obviously, the high-risk, low-reward games might be a thing of the past. Texas losing to Ohio State last year, in theory, cost themselves an opportunity to college football playoff.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Chaz Coleman absent as Tennessee football starts their summer workout program. Coleman, remember, did not finish spring practice or spring semester workouts, been dealing with some personal issues. Last month, Josh Heupel was asked about Coleman and said at the end of the day, he's dealing with some things, has worked through those things. When he's able to do that, he'll be back with us. Of course, Coleman transferred in from Penn State, was one of the high-profile edge defenders that picked the balls.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Tight end George Van Sant has backed off his pledge to Arkansas. He's a Portland, Oregon native. He's been committed to Arkansas since early April. He had offers also from Washington State and Oregon State. So he had Oregon as another one of his offers that he might be considering. So Arkansas now with 8 commits for 2027.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Kentucky got a commit from a 2027 running back. He's out of Arkansas. His name is Mason Bell, 5'11", 185. Picked Kentucky over Vanderbilt and Arkansas. Ran for 1,400 yards and 27 touchdowns in high school last year. Kentucky's got 19 commits.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
And one baseball note, Ryan McPherson and Kevin Maluski are close to returning for the NCAA Regional. That, according to head coach Brian O'Connor. Said, I think Kevin's cleared, full go. McPherson, be bigger part of the regional plans. He threw Saturday night, said they scrimmaged as well through 5 shutout innings. So looks like the Bulldogs are getting closer to health. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. Hump Day shows are presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. You can always visit yourgoodwood.com. Remember, lowest prices, never any contracts. Yourgoodwood.com. Yourgoodwood.com is where you can learn more. All right, let me knock out a quick break. Come back. We'll wrap up hour number 1 with Taylor Calandro, a little Bourbon Dictionary. Get your booze questions in. Email us, tweet us, or text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. If you want to get your questions in for Taylor, you could do it. Let me remind you, Jeff Duncan will be here in hour 3. He's got a new book he's working on about LSU athletics. We'll talk about that with Jeff Duncan in hour 3. And in 30 minutes from right now, our conversation with Gavin Guidry and Derek Curiel, both who still have eligibility remaining with LSU, but both have a draft decision to make as well. So we'll talk about it with the guys in studio here in about 30 minutes from right now. Bourbon Dictionary next. It's AFR.
After further review.
All right. The rain has been providing a little bit of a cool-off, which I guess is welcome, but the other part of it is it rains every day, which I know a lot of people don't love. But remember, we are bumping up toward June. We are bumping up toward the summer months where we have those oppressive triple-digit heat indexes every day. Is your AC ready to withstand that brutal beating it's going to take day after day after day during the oppressive Louisiana summer? River City's 1 Hour Air can let you know. Give them a buzz, y'all. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. Call them right now. If you've heard me hammer this message into your brain every single year at this time and you still don't take advantage of it, make this the day. It's easy. It's affordable. Mention the show. They'll save you $30 off your AC tune-up. They'll make sure your AC is ready to roll for the summer months. 752-0001.
They're the gang with the slang.
Keep it 100. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
I don't understand.
Wrapping up hour number 1. Taylor's here. Yeah, dude.
Hey, man, what's up?
Back from Arizona, man. Was in Phoenix, Scottsdale since last Friday. Got back yesterday. I get why a lot of people go live in Scottsdale.
I used to live in Arizona.
Dude, what part of Arizona did you live in?
I lived in Prescott, which is about an hour and a half north of Phoenix, Scottsdale area. It's in the mountains.
Dude.
But Scottsdale is bougie.
Yeah,
old
man.
money.
I get it, dude. It's like we played TPC Scottsdale, which is where they have the waste management, for those who don't know, the stadium course, the Coliseum course, the number 16 hole. And right on the other side of the tee box, from the wall on the other side of the tee box, is the landing strip for the private airport. So it is just like PJs coming in.
Yeah.
But just to come, stay at their homes in Scottsdale, play one of the courses. It's just it's ridiculous.
Midwest old money.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Canada, people escaping cold weather to go to Arizona where it's warm and sunny and beautiful and play golf. That's what Scottsdale is. It's pretty.
Most of the people from the Northeast, they'll migrate down south of Florida, but then the people from Green Bay, Chicago, they all go to Arizona. So there's a ton of Green Bay people there, tons of Chicago people there.
I didn't find a lot of good whiskey in Arizona. What would be a good preferred drink of choice in Arizona?
Man, the Arizonans are really concerned with their health, so that's probably why there's not a lot of it out there. Yeah, people in Arizona are weird too, man. I don't know why we're talking about Arizona because you were there, but I could talk about Arizona for a while. Well, we got a bunch of new stuff. Evan Williams single barrel, the 250th commemorative bottle. It's 117.76 proof. You get it?
Say it again.
117.76 proof, 1776.
Okay.
Which generally
is Evan Williams 250 years old?
No, but the country you live in is.
No, I get that, but I'm like, why would? Okay, whatever, fine.
Dude, every brand imaginable is doing some kind of commemorative something for the 250th anniversary of the United States, which is in a month.
This one is a Evan Williams from 1783 commemorative edition. That's 90 proof. What is that?
That
doesn't make sense.
It's the Evan Williams single barrel. It's got 250 on the bottle. But their regular single barrel, it usually comes with a wax neck on it. That's usually 86 proof. So this is pretty substantially higher proof. Not only is it a kind of a kitschy proof for the bottle, but it's also a lot higher than they usually do for that bottle. I haven't got to try it. We also got a 100% wheat whiskey from Whistle Pig, which I've never had anything like that from them, so I'm interested in trying it. Okay. It's called Declaration, and it's also for the 250th birthday of the United States of America.
Imagine that. Flying home from Arizona yesterday, I saw a plane Southwest completely repainted. It was like to 1776, like Independence 1776, Let Freedom Ring or something like that. I'm like,
I think that's the only one too. I saw Southwest put that video out. That's pretty cool, actually.
Well, then I saw the one yesterday on the ground in Phoenix.
There's not many of them.
Let's get some questions. Email us, tweet us, or text 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Ask Taylor, what's going on with Sazerac lasers dumping cases upon case of E.H. Taylor, Eagle Rare, Blanton's, Weller Special Reserve, and Weller Antique? The boom is over. Make BTAC shelvers again.
Wow, that was a lot there.
That was a lot, Craig.
Was that a declaration or was that a question?
Both.
Okay. I like those. The boom has been over for a while, but that kind of stuff is gonna fly. So
what? But what is?
It depends on what your definition of boom is. But the boom has died. I mean, it's been at least a couple years. So.
But last week there was a giant dump of all of those Sazerac products. So what was that about?
It's a reflection of where the market's at. That's my best guess. I mean, I don't really get the inside baseball and that kind of stuff. It's just we take what we get, and I would imagine it has something to do with gas being $4 a gallon.
Interesting.
You know, I mean, people when people aren't buying stuff, they're gonna find a way to get rid of it somehow. So,
yeah. Hey man, I'm here for it. Finding those good bottles easier to find. All right, we got less than 60 seconds. Give me a good craft beer that's out right now.
A good craft beer. Man, I'm trying to think of what I talked about. I talked about something a couple of weeks ago that I really liked, and I can't remember which one. It was a Parish beer. Abita's got a couple good little drops that they just did. This isn't like anything crazy, but it's a golden ale. I mean, it's cheap little golden that I liked from them. But I've reverted back to drinking really basic beer. So
Taylor Calandro from Calandro's right down the street. They're in Government. Go see him. Pop in. Say hello. Thank you, dude.
I'll see you.
All right, man. Be well. It's After Further Review, brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Hour number 2 coming up right after SportsCenter. Stay here.
After Further Review.
We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online, southpointvw.com. You heard Taylor just mentioned there the gas prices. How about you drive a vehicle that is really fuel efficient? Drive a Volkswagen. I mean, there's so many reasons to put Volkswagen on your list. If you've never driven a Volkswagen, and before I started endorsing South Point, I'd never owned or considered owning a Volkswagen. And so before I started endorsing them 15 years ago, I said, I want to drive every single model that you have. So I did, fell in love with the brand. It's all I've driven since. So if it's the Atlas, the 3-row 7-seater family SUV, the Cross Sport, which is what I drive, the Tiguan, if you want a compact SUV, a midsize SUV, a sedan, they got something for everybody. Highest safety features, highest safety designation you can get, stylish, affordable. It's South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. SouthPointVW.com.